If I were to have someone say the Constitution's outdated, I would simply ask them where. That's the first question that needs to be asked. Where? You tell me where in the Constitution is it outdated? Is it in the 13th Amendment that abolishes slavery? Is it in the 15th Amendment that says all individuals should be permitted to vote regardless of race? Is it in the 19th Amendment that says all individuals should be permitted to vote regardless of gender? Or is it in the 14th Amendment that says all individuals are to be treated equally under the law? Is that the outdated component of this document?
I think it's the 16th Amendment that says we have to pay income taxes. That's the only part I know is outdated.
But we won't get to the 16th Amendment. We'll leave that aside for a moment. But these are the arguments. We're going after the 13th Amendment, the 15th Amendment, the 19th Amendment. We go back to the 14th Amendment, and now we start talking about due process of law. Is it outdated that when government decides to use its resources against me, I have certain liberties available to me? The right to a fair trial, the right to a speedy trial, the right to a public trial.
Yeah, let's get rid of that.
Yeah, exactly. Is that the outdated component? What about the Second Amendment right to defend myself? Is that outdated?
Yeah.
Or the right to exercise my religious beliefs according to the First Amendment, free speech? I mean, it goes on and on and on. It's a rapid-fire argument to shut somebody down, but at the same time, be the voice of reason. You tell me. You justify why your idea is better. So, Mark, go ahead.
Since there's an older document than the Constitution that Moses handed out, a document in stone. Since there's an older document than the Constitution and Moses handed out a document in stone, which of the Ten Commandments is outdated?
Honor your mother and your mother.
Here's the idea. Simply because we talked about it's not a good idea to kill, and we said that thousands of years ago, does that make the idea necessarily invalid? Of course not. Just because an idea has been embraced for centuries doesn't make the idea false. And that's what we're being fed. That's what we have to be able to defend against. Ladies and gentlemen, when we're talking about going on the offensive versus the defensive, you know what I'm talking about. You've heard and you've been involved in the argument involving immigration. And you're called a racist. And in that argument, you are constantly defending the idea that you're not a racist. You know what you're doing. You're playing defense. How do you go on the offensive? You call them out for their racist policies. You call them out for affirmative action. You call them out for the fact that the foreclosure rates hit more blacks and minorities than ultimately hit white people. Is that a result of policy? You better believe it. More blacks and minorities are unemployed than whites. That's a product of your policies. That's a product of minimum wage laws. Minimum wage laws, as Milton Friedman said, are some of the most racist laws that exist. Right? Let's call them out for their racist policies. This is what I'm talking about. When you're dealing with the argument, turn the argument around, because you can do it almost inevitably. Ladies and gentlemen, what we are trying to do, and what the Academy is trying to do, is to take this not just to the people that are part of the choir. We want to take this to the streets. We want to debate people who disagree with us. We want to have the debate. We invite the debate because we know we can win. When we're talking about a battle of ideas, we know we will win. But here's the problem that you and I have. Conservatives, libertarians tend to be otherwise very decent people. And we don't like the fact that we have to scrap. And we have to fight. Well, guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what we're going to have to do, is fight. We don't like to fight, just simply by our nature and the things that we believe. We don't necessarily like to fight. But what I'm telling you is when it comes to taking the culture, that's exactly what we're going to have to do. We're going to have to scrap. We're going to have to fight it out. We're going to have to mandate that they justify their particular ideas.